Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So, today is part 3 of the World of Warcraft Ashbringer series. We're going to create a color ID mask for a low poly model. We're going to clean it up, and then we're going to take it into ZBrush for detailing. Here we go. This video has been made possible by BenQ. If you're a digital artist in need of a professional grade monitor, then check out benq.com. Okay everybody, well, welcome to part 3 in our World of Warcraft Ashbringer series. Now, we left off with our model being UV'd, and we checked out with the checkered pattern, and what we're going to do now is we're going to clean up the model. We're going to name everything correctly. We're going to do a color ID mask that we need later on in Substance Painter, and then we're going to export this into ZBrush, where we're going to create the high poly mesh, and hopefully we can get all that done in this video, right? Alrighty, so before we get started, we're going to select everything, and we're going to go up to a mesh and clean up, and we're going to click on the option box, and we're going to go to select matching polygons. Here we go. And we're going to select all of these, and we're going to clean up and see if we get anything that we need to address. Okay, this all looks okay with the exception of this guy, which is not per se a problem. These are all triangles, which is good. They're not n-gons, so I'm okay with that. Now, if you're really fanatical about it, you can go in and change that, but this should not be a problem, so I'm going to leave that alone. Alrighty, so next we're going to go to object mode, and we're going to go into the outliner, and let's rename the parts. Okay, so first we'll go in, we'll go to edit, delete by type in history, then we'll go to modify and freeze transformations, and I'm going to group it, Control G, and I'm going to go to modify and center pivot. Then we're going to go in and we're going to rename this. I'm going to call this the Ashbringer. And then actually we've got one too many groups going on here. So let me just fix that. We're going to go to ungroup on that one. So Ashbringer, yeah. Then we have the, let's call this the handguard. And then we have the, no idea what to call that. Let's call that deco. Then we have the handle. And what we have left is, of course, the blade. Now, from a color ID standpoint, I need to have separate sections. And I'm thinking of adding a different color to parts of this guy, but we'll see that in a minute, right? So, yeah, that's clean so far. So let's look into that. Now, this is going to be one base color that I'm going to be hand painting over. So I'm just going to right click, go to assign new material. Really doesn't matter what you do as long as there's something assigned to it, right? We'll do the same here. We'll assign a new material. We'll take another Lambert. We'll go in and change the color on that. And then we got this guy. Assign new material. Lambert. There you go. And then this guy, I think I'm going to do two different colors on it. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go into face, and I'm just going to click and shift, double click on this. Hold down shift and hit the point or period or the thing that you use at the end of a sentence. Yeah. And I always need to explain that because you guys usually don't know what I'm talking about when I say that. Period, point, and there you go. So we got all that, and I'm gonna right click and go to assign new material. New Lambert, we'll take whatever color, there you go. And then we got the gray, which is a color by itself. Okay, so now this guy is basically our UV mapped, color masked low poly model, okay? So I'm gonna go to object mode, I'm gonna drag select all of this, and I'm gonna go up to file, export selection. Let's find my Ashbringer folder here, and we'll call this low poly Ashbringer. There you go. Okay, so now that that's done, we need to prep this guy for our high poly. As we go into ZBrush and we start to subdivide this, we will be smoothing this out, and you'll see a couple of things going on. Handle looks fine, this looks fine, this does not look fine, and that doesn't look fine either. So what we're going to do there is we're going to go back, we're going to hit 1 to go back and 1 to go back. And I'm going to start with this guy. Right click, go to edge, drag select all of these, Control B to bevel, 0.01. Now keep in mind that by beveling this, we're adding poly count, but we already exported our low poly model, so that's all set. So this is purely prep for our high poly model, so don't need to worry about that, right? Okay, so we can do the same with the blade here. We're going to go into edge mode. We're going to bevel that. Again, 0.01, which will hold that shape much better. This guy looks okay, smooth, and this guy, let's see, we'll want to go back. If we want to hold those edges right there, we might need to sort that out. Now let me just try something quickly. Let me right click and go to edge, right click all of this, Control B to bevel, 0.01, hit enter, go back into object mode and hit 3 and still see if it looks cool, and I think it does, yeah. I want to reinforce something right here. So I'm going to insert an edge loop, and we're going to set it to manual. I'm going to put one in here, and one up there, and one down there, just to hold that shape. And then we'll put one in here, and one in here. We'll hit 4 for wireframe mode. We'll put one in here, and there you go. We'll hit Q on our keyboard, hit escape, hit 5 for shaded mode. Let's hit 3 again. Nice hard edges there. You do see though that this is rounded now, okay? So I want to go back. And in order for me to prevent that, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna separate these guys, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna go into face, click and shift double click. Come on, I hit the wrong key, sorry. Yep. So we're gonna extend that selection, all of it. Let's try it from here. Okay, so we got the whole pommel selected. Yeah, there we go. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to edit mesh. We're gonna go to extract. Then we're gonna select this guy and we're gonna go to mesh and separate. So now we should be able to move this guy independently. There you go. All right. And what we can do now is we can actually select that guy, and you see that you now have a group here. Okay, and we'll call this guy the pommel. All right, and then this guy is the handle. Okay, and then here what we'll do is we'll take these two and we'll drag it out of that group. We'll just drag it to the Ashbringer here. Okay, and then this guy's empty, we can get rid of that. Okay, so handguard, deco, blade, pommel, and handle. And we don't need to call it handle 1. All right. So it looks like I lost my material for some reason. Not quite sure why. So let me just quickly fix that. Okay, so final check. We got our Ashbringer, we got the handguard, which is, yeah, correct. We have the deco, which is correct. We have the blade, we have the pommel, and we have the handle. Okay, all good. All right, now that we have all of that, we can focus on holding the shape of this guy. Hit F to frame that. And get this out of the way, get this out of the way. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go into the edges, double click, shift double click, shift double click, shift double click. We already got that one. Shift double click and shift double click. And we're gonna bevel that at 0.01. So now if you go in here and hit smooth, you still hold that shape much better, as you can see, right? Want to go back, we'll take this one as well. And this one as well. Just make sure that that is, come on, just make sure that that's fully selected. Yeah, there you go. So that and that. Bevel 0.01. And there you have it, and then this guy. And that guy shouldn't be necessary. So it's mainly this guy. And the reason why I have to do that independently right now is because I beveled these guys, so there are tiny gaps there, right? So we're gonna hit Control B, and we're gonna do 0.01 again. Okay, so now if we go in and we do a preview smooth, you see that we still basically have that shape, which looks fine. Okay, now let's do the same here. So let's just hide this, hide this, hide this. Yeah. And basically what I can do here is right click at the edge, drag select. Let me see, can I do it that way? I think so, yeah. So 101, we'll find out soon enough. We'll go in here, we'll hit 3, and there you go, holding that shape. All right, so let's go to display and show and all, and there I have it. Okay, now we're gonna drag select all of this one more time, edit, delete by type, history, modify, freeze, transformation, and we're gonna go in our group and we're gonna go to modify and center pivot. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna export this as our setup for our high poly, right? So we're gonna go to File, we're gonna go to Export Selection. We already have a low poly Ashbringer. What we're gonna do is call this high poly Ashbringer for now, because it will become a high poly, right? Okay, let's export that, and it's time to jump into ZBrush. And here we are, guys. Well, let's see, we're gonna turn off our light box here. We're gonna go up to import. And then on my other screen, I'm gonna just pick that up. I can actually bring it in here so we can see what we're doing. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna go to my desktop, we're gonna go to my Ashbringer, we're gonna go to, that's our low poly, that's our high poly, that's the one we want. We're gonna drag, select that, we're gonna hold on Shift and snap it. We're going to click on Edit. We're going to click on Make Polymesh 3D. Alrighty. So now that we have that, let's get it into place here. What we need to do is add some subdivision. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to turn that on so we can see what's going on. And let's see what else. I want it in perspective view because that's my preference, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to subtool. Let's see what we got. We got one piece, which is okay. We're going to go to our, we're going to close that out. We're going to go to geometry. And what we're going to do is we're going to divide it up, right? Now we're going to turn off smooth and we're going to click on divide, right? We're going to keep a track up here where it says 30K, 123, 491,000, 1.9 million, maybe one more go, 7.8 million, which is okay, right? Okay, so now that we have that, we can go in and we can actually start to add some detail. So, yeah, let's see. I think what I'll do is I'll start with a trim dynamic. And let's see, that's down here. And yeah, we're gonna go with a stroke, that's okay. And let's go in here. So let's focus on this guy first, right? This guy right here. So let's see how intense this is. Way too much, obviously. So we're gonna go back. And let's see, we'll do a much smaller draw size. We'll bring that in intensity. Okay, that works. Maybe a bit more. And it's pressure sensitive, so you can start to kind of see some small details coming up here. And I'll get in closer. And you can see as I start to push a bit harder, Works quite well, right? Okay, so I'm going to time-lapse this as before because this takes a while and you don't want to be looking at that for like the next 40 minutes, all right?
I've never known a love so steady. Even gold won't turn your tide. We flow together like an ocean, every low and every high. And I would have you anyway, dear, any way your heart could bear. Even if you had to leave me, I'd always be waiting here. Even when we are apart, I will keep you in my heart. And I wouldn't change a thing, even if I were the king. I've never known a brighter sunset, but every day I see it rise.
Okay guys, well that's it for the detailing on the Ashbringer in ZBrush. Now you guys need to forgive me that I'm not that great in ZBrush just yet. I recently started and I mainly use it to add some detailing. So I'm in the learning process and you know, it's just to show you the process, right? Okay, so I think this guy is okay. I'm going to export this guy as my high poly and we'll see what we get. So we're going to go up to export and I'm in the correct folder right here, and we're going to overwrite the high poly Ashbringer that we already have. And let's replace that. Alrighty. So we now have a low poly UV'd color ID'd model. We have a high poly that is currently being saved. And the next step is we're going to go into Substance Painter and we're going to bake the normal map. We're going to apply textures. I'm going to go with the hand painted in Substance Painter. And then finally we're going to do the render, right? So yeah, we'll give it a sec until this guy is all ready and done. And then we'll call it a day. Well, for this video anyway. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the process so far. While we still have a few seconds, a couple of reminders. We still have a ZBrush 3D character challenge going on. That's closing July 1st. There's still a lot of time to participate. And keep in mind that the first prize is a KeyShot Pro license worth $1,600, right? In addition, I set up a GoFundMe page. This is based on the fact that I got questions from a lot of people who were asking me whether I'm going to go to SIGGRAPH 2021, assuming that by then, you know, travel and everything will be okay. And basically do a vlog style series on that event. Now, as I'm living in Europe and SIGGRAPH is in LA, that's kind of an expensive enterprise. So if you guys support this idea and want to see me go there and record all of that, then yeah, check out the link below and support me on that, right? Okay, so basically this is just saving out, so no worries there. I'll see you guys in the next video. We'll jump into Substance Painter and we'll make some cool textures, right? See you there.